I have decided to enter my first ever fitness bikini competition. And in today's podcast episode, I want to share with you everything that I am doing. I'm currently 3 weeks in and have already seen some pretty incredible results. So I'm going to share with you my macros and how you would be able to figure out your macros. I'm going to share my entire training routine. I'm going to share the little habits and mindset shifts I use that really make this journey feel so freaking good, because I've been feeling so good throughout these past 3 weeks since I decided that I was going to do this bikini competition. And I want to give you a little backstory, because over the past many years, one of the most frequently asked questions whenever I've gone to the gym and met someone new, as in, having like these little daily conversations with other fitness goers, has been, do you compete? Because I have a pretty lean physique year round, and most people who are as lean as I am, the reason they are is because they compete. However, for me, that has never been something I have been passionate about, interested in. I do this, I look this way, I train this way, I eat this way because it is the thing that makes me feel on fire within. It's the thing that makes me feel when I wake up energized, ready to go. I feel light on my feet, I feel strong, I feel powerful. And what that has done for me as a person is completely transformed my mindset. I first got in shape many years ago, 6-7 years ago. And when I got in like seriously incredible shape, I lost weight and I just went all in on learning about nutrition and training and pushing myself to my absolute limits. What I realized at that time was how life transformative that was. When we take care of our physique in that way, when we push our boundaries in that way, when it comes to our physique, it translates into every other aspect of life. And that has really been my mission throughout these past many, many years, is to share that with as many individuals as possible to have that life transformation for themselves as well, if they feel called to. And having it be a lifestyle, just mindset, a way of life, rather than it being like, because I wanted to compete and win a competition. So the first reason is because for me, it's just my lifestyle. It's the thing that makes me feel so good. And it's the thing that makes me be able and capable of helping other individuals get there as well. The other reason that I haven't been drawn to try to compete is because I grew up dancing and competing every single year. There was a season of us training really hard for it, and then the season of us going out there and competing. And we won the Danish championships many years in a row. And I also did that within cheerleading as well. And in Denmark, when we won the Danish championships, we also went to the world championships. And what I found whenever I was competing in dance was that it's not like when we won, I would be really happy. What I really, really loved about being a competitive dancer growing up was the social aspect of it and the improving my dance abilities. So kind of the same as how I didn't ever feel called to compete within fitness, it was the same with dance. Like I enjoyed us competing because we would go on these road trips together, travel to different places, we'd get ready together, we would train really hard together, we would have these like training camp weekends, which was just so fun. So it was more the social aspect of it, it was more the growing aspect of it. So I just don't think I'm the type of person who feels fulfilled by actually joining a competition, but I feel fulfilled by socially having a goal that a group of people are together about, and also having a goal for myself that allows me to stay disciplined and to continuously grow within some area. So those are the things that I really feel are fulfilling to me. And so when I've met so many bodybuilders at Gold's Gym, which I just moved to Santa Monica at the beginning of this year, and going to Gold's Gym, there's just so many inspiring individuals within that field. Like they're just very professional bodybuilders. And when I started training with these guys, they were like, Prunella, you should just do it. Like, why aren't you doing it? And then I knew that I had to come home and actually ask myself, if I were to do this, I would need to find a real big why. And the why can't be the competition because I don't actually care about winning. The why has to be something else. And then as I dive deep into this, and I'm sharing all this with you for a reason. I promise I'm going to get to my point before we get into the macros and the training and all of that. I had to ask myself, what would be an actual deep why for me to do that? And what I came to was how every single time I've set myself a fitness goal, any fitness goal, where I had to commit to staying disciplined within nutrition, training, and whatever else is involved, I have felt so fired up, so energized. And it turns out these past 3 weeks since I decided to join this competition, which is in 5 weeks now, I decided to do a very quick mini prep of 8 weeks. I know many people, they will do a full year or at least 6 months of first bulking and then leaning down, all of that. But I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. And I think 8 weeks is enough for me to get some sort of results and see shifts in my body, which I've already, after these first 3 weeks, seen some changes. So that's great. And we'll get to that. But I dove deep into why I needed to do this for myself. And the more things I wrote down that were more aligned with my values and what I know makes me fulfilled on a daily basis, I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. I just need to remind myself of this why. And I think that this is crucial. No matter what goal you set yourself, you have to figure out your why. You have to figure out, why is this important to you? Not because it could be cool for someone else, but why is it important to you? What fires you up about this goal? And I'm thinking that many of you listening to this, you have some sort of fitness goal. And potentially, if you haven't really gained that level of consistency that is required of you in order for you to reach the goal, it may be worth just diving deep into, why is this actually important to you? And I would use the 7 why method, where it's like, you ask yourself, why do I want this? And then whatever answer comes, you then ask yourself, well, why is that? And whatever answer comes there, you ask, well, why is that? And you ask yourself 7 times until you get to the root cause of why it is that you actually want this thing. It's really powerful. And I've used it many times whenever I need to really connect with my why. And I want to quickly share, I am uploading this episode on a Monday, and I've recorded 2 YouTube videos on this, where you'll see the actual journey, but I wanted to give a little teaser for my podcast listeners because I love you guys so much, and also maybe go in depth in a different way that I don't get to in my YouTube videos. But I shot first 2 weeks, and then in week 3 I shot a 1 day, what I eat in a day kind of vibe. So if you are someone who wants to actually watch all of what I'm sharing right now on a YouTube video, it will be up in a couple of days. So that's exciting. So I just wanted to point out this really important thing about, first of all, having a really clear goal. For me, it's obvious, right? I want to compete in this bikini fitness competition. And my partner in my business, he says, Pernilla, I know you don't care about coming first place, but you gotta try your best to get first place. And what I do care about is doing the best that I can leading up to this competition. And I think, the more I focus on me doing the best I can, the higher chances there is of winning. And a lot of that comes to the posing aspect of competing in a fitness competition, but I'll get to that. Because first, I just wanted to clarify, if you right now have a fitness goal, but you haven't set a specific goal, which for me, I have a certain weight goal, body fat goal, muscle mass goal. My goal is not to lose a lot of weight. I actually want to maintain as much of my weight as possible, but body recomp so that I lose fat and build muscle simultaneously. I will lower my body weight. I've already way less than I did when I started because I am in a bit of a caloric deficit, but I have very clear goals. I have a very clear why. So if you're someone who has a whatever goal within fitness or something else, just pause this episode, get very specific and clear on what your goal is, and then why it is that you really need to make this happen. And then last thing before we get to the macros and the training and the little tips is something that in this journey, and also any other journey I've embarked on, has been committing on another level. And for me, the commitment this time has been, these friends at my gym know that I have set this goal, so they are expecting me to show up in the way that I have now committed to. Secondly, I'm filming these YouTube videos, so I have committed to my audience that I'm doing this thing. And for you, your commitment towards this goal may look different, but is it that you share it with your partner? Is it that you just really freaking commit to yourself on a whole nother level? When I first committed to my fitness goal, I actually didn't even share it with anyone. When I first, my biggest 3 months of body transformation, I didn't actually even share it with anyone. I was just so committed to make this thing happen. So I don't know what you need to do to commit, but do something that you know is going to make you commit and not want to either let yourself down or let someone else down, or, if I don't do this, then I am going to, I've shared this example before on the podcast, but it could be useful for some people, of like, then I'll donate a certain amount of money to this cause that I don't actually want to donate money to. Whatever you need to do to commit, I think is so important, because there will be times where as we get outside of our comfort zone, which we will have to whenever we set a new goal, and our fear and our excuses and everything in our head, our mind, our lazy brain is going to come up with all these reasons why we do not need to show up for the commitments that we've made to ourselves. We're going to need something that's stronger than those voices in our head. We're going to need something that's going to hold us accountable to this thing that we said we were going to do. So commit on another level. Commit to someone else, to something, to yourself on another level. Now, moving on to macros. My personal macros on this cut, it started off being, which you'll see in my YouTube video that'll be out soon. I have also spoken with a couple of bodybuilders to this, but if you've seen any of my other body recomp videos, you know that I was eating 1,800 calories at that time when I was really just completely body recomping. And this time I decided to do 1,700 calories on any day that is upper body day, and 2,000 calories on any day that is leg days, which I'll share with you my training program in a moment. And that's what I did for the first 2 weeks. And I will say now I'm more so just between 1,800 to 1,900 calories every day. Sometimes I hit 2,000, also because I have been seeing a lot of progress already, and the amount of movement I do, it is a deficit for sure. So now I'm more going towards like, anywhere between 1,700 to 2,000 calories a day. And it's making me not feel hungry. It's making me feel energized and good. Even though it is a caloric deficit, it's a slight caloric deficit. So I don't feel like I am suffering in any way, which, moving on to the types of food I eat, is super high protein. So I'll have, right now in my fridge, I have eggs. I have 99% lean turkey. I have both 7% fat beef, and then I also have 4% fat beef. I have egg whites. I have edamame beans, and then I have a ton of vegetables. Like, my fridge is filled with vegetables, which we go grocery shopping together in my YouTube video, but filled with vegetables and fruits, berries, but also fruits, mostly berries actually. And the reason why I've stocked up my fridge with that is because if that's what's in my fridge, that's what I will eat. And the reason why I really want to hone this down is because if I, in my fridge and in my cupboards, had all these other types of tempting foods, I would want to eat it. Especially when you are in a slight caloric deficit, your temptations are even greater, and there is going to be weak points, right? Where we're potentially just not going to be as disciplined. However, I do think I've developed a very good level of discipline, especially because of my level of commitment, like we spoke about. However, make it easy on yourself. When you go grocery shopping, or when you go through your cupboards as you're getting ready to do this thing, give to your friends whatever you know that you're gonna potentially snack on that isn't aligned with your goals. There's no need to make it harder on ourselves than it has to be. In terms of macros, going back to that, I'm eating around 40% protein. I've actually been 160 gram or more protein per day, I've noticed, because I've been tracking on my MyFitnessPal, which is also something new I did not do before. Before, I have like an eye estimate of things. And now, even though I don't like necessarily weigh everything to the T, I just write in my MyFitnessPal the approximate things that I'm eating, so I'm able to see how much protein am I getting, how much calories am I getting in the day. Because when it comes to carbs and fats, I'm more just kind of go with the flow. My goal is to do 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat. However, because I eat so many vegetables and I just love high carbs in that way, and fruits as well, I do tend to have a little lower fat, but I don't go lower than 20% fat. We do need our essential fats. And I would say 25%, typically not lower than that. I would say that's my percentages of macros. And like I said, usually over 160 grams of protein, which so many people will say is an overkill. But from the many, many years of doing this, like, the changes I see in my body personally when I almost overdo the protein, it's wild. it actually makes such a big difference for me. And I love eating protein. It makes me feel good. I just love the taste of it. Like I make so many awesome meals that are, I mean, some people wouldn't say they're awesome, but for me, I freaking love them. They're just so simple. And I love proteins, like the turkey, the beef, the eggs. I just love it together with the vegetables and the fruits that I make. Delicious for me. So for macros, 40 protein, 30 carbs, 30 fat when I'm good. I track the calories that I put in my body because otherwise it can be very easy to misinterpret things. And even though it's not fully accurate, I trust myself enough because oh my gosh, I would say I'm pretty experienced when it comes to knowing macros and like what's in the different foods that I eat. Also because I am a creature of habit, like I'll have a lot of the same things. So after a while, you just know how much is in the different foods that you eat. But I do still put it in my app where I track. Now, when it comes to starchy carbs, I actually have decided not to have oatmeal at the moment because oatmeal is one of those things that I freaking love and I could easily overdo it. So what I like to do with carbs is I'll like have some bread when I feel like that. I went to the farmer market yesterday and I had some bread. Actually, I had some bites of a almond croissant, which is obviously not healthy, but my friend was having it. And so I just had a couple of bites of it. So maybe like 100 calories total. If the whole thing was 500 calories, I had maybe 100. So I'll have like things like that. I also had some like popcorn at night when we were watching a movie. But again, it's like I maybe had 150 calories worth of popcorn. Plus, this is not something I do every day. It was like a weekend day and I chilling, right? And also it's like I didn't overdo it. I just had what I needed. So in my house, I will have the vegetables, all that. But then when I go out, I'll allow myself some of the more unhealthier carbs, or just like if I go to Whole Foods after my workout session, maybe I'll add some sweet potatoes to my salad, for instance. Oh, I also had a little bit of pasta yesterday. But overall, like my total day of carb intake was not over what it usually is. So it's not necessarily always about what, but how much, you know, when you go out and you have things. Because if I had a whole bowl of pasta or a whole croissant or a whole bowl of popcorn, it would be very different. But because I just like taste a little bit of it, it doesn't end up being very much. And because I also, on a day-to-day basis, stick to my veggies, stick to my fruit, it all evens out. That's a beautiful thing about tracking and knowing your macros, which this leads me to the point of if you are someone who has a fitness goal and you haven't been tracking, you haven't understood your macros, that is a key step, at least if you've not been seeing results. You can also do it through intuitive eating. There's so many different ways of doing it. But if you've been struggling with the nutritional aspect, then highly, highly recommend. And something that I didn't say is that if you want to join me on this journey, in my June Transformation Challenge, I give you my entire workout program that I'm using throughout this time. I also help you with your macros. So if you are unsure of what you need for your macros, I literally guide every single person through that and chat back and forth if there's any additional questions. And just really like we chat every week. We're about to jump on a call here in 25 minutes with my community. I'm just there to help you with anything you need. But if you do want to jump on this journey, not necessarily to do a bikini fitness competition, but you want to try my program and you want to go all in this way and lean out and develop incredible strength, then I'll put the link in the description because it's such an awesome time inside of my community. You get my workout programs, you get my 300 plus recipes, my meal plans, weekly coaching, oh my gosh, and my journaling challenges, which, you know, all of this is mindset. And if you can master your mindset and take control of your thoughts and limiting beliefs, that's where the true transformation occurs. So highly recommend if you want to join us. Now, when it comes to the training program, I have shifted my training program. So if you join my challenges, there's going to be different options and how many days and how long you want to work out, what your level is. There's different workout programs. But this specific bikini fitness competition training program that I'm doing is also going to be inside of the app. And it's a very different structure than any of my other workout programs. It's also a lot more than any of my other workout programs. The other ones are less, I guess, because this is pretty extreme. So Monday and Friday, I do legs, like full on legs, hamstrings, quads, glutes. And right now at my gym, I do this with a couple of bodybuilder dudes, and it's incredible working out with someone who trains hard, because that makes you train hard. I always train hard, but training with someone else that also trains hard, it's just like extra awesome and giving. Tuesdays, I do shoulders and abs. Wednesdays, I do glutes. So it's majority mainly focused on glutes, not so much hamstrings and quads. Thursday, I do pull-up progression, as in back, shoulders, and abs. Friday, obviously, is the leg day. Saturdays are my active recovery days. Like yesterday, I went on a hike and I just walked a lot, but that was it. And now today, Sunday, I do my back, again, pull-up progressions, which, by the way, oh my gosh, one of my friends gave me a new strategy that I should try when it came to pull-ups, and I've been trying it, and it's also a part of my workout program inside of my app. And I went from my best ever is probably 15 and a half pull-ups. I've kind of called it 16, but it's like 15 and a half. And I, after 3 weeks of doing it this way, got up to 18 pull-ups. And this is being in a deficit, which is wild, because typically when you're in a deficit, you lower your strength. But I don't know what it is with my body, but when I'm eating the type of food, like I'm almost eating AIP right now. Like I'm eating so clean. And sometimes, like I said yesterday with the almond, or sometimes I'll have a protein bar, I'll have some protein powder, but majority of my food is really, really clean, and between 17 to 2,000 calories. It makes me wake up feeling ready to freaking go. I just feel so good. I always have felt so good when I eat in this way. So I've also before experienced gaining a lot more strength, even being in a deficit. So I don't believe that it's always the case that when you're in a deficit that you lower your strength. For me, at least, it hasn't been the case always. Sometimes, obviously, I'll feel weak, especially if I'm on my period, which happened during these first 3 weeks. But just don't make that be your belief, because if that's your belief, then potentially you will be weaker, right? Like everything that we believe is going to be the case, typically. So that is my training routine, and I've been sticking to it like so good. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday's an off day, Sunday. And I love it. I also just love being at Gold's Gym. So I feel so inspired and motivated by all the people who are there. And I just love going there. And I love my training. Like my body has gotten so good at recovering. Like if you're a beginner, you definitely should not jump into doing this many training days every single week. But for me right now, it really works. Now, the last thing that I have had to include into my programming, because now I'm joining this bikini competition, which you may need to do something else, add something else into your routine. Like if you're someone who's never been in good shape, always found yourself setting a goal and then getting back to your old ways, maybe potentially one of the new things that you need to incorporate into your life is the morning journaling, where you commit to your goals, you uncover the limiting beliefs, you create your new self-identity, all the things that journaling is so incredibly powerful within. You can go back to all my episodes, and especially the one I did with the 10 questions to ask yourself if you want to be brutally honest with yourself. I give away a free journal that helps you navigate through some challenging questions. And also, you can get all my journaling challenges if you join my app, my community, but you can also just take a journal and write whatever comes out and free flow write, set a timer for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you got available to you, and just start writing down and see whatever comes to you. But, if you want to shift your self-identity, maybe journaling is something that you need to include into your routine. And for me, what I needed to include into my routine was posing. And I had no clue how to pose. I still am learning, but after a couple of weeks, I found a posing coach who I did my first coaching session with. I then did a workshop, and now we've set 4 more coaching sessions that we're going to be doing before my competition. So that is my plan to joining this bikini fitness competition. It is a bikini fitness competition that is taking place in Venice, and I am excited now, but I will just finish off by sharing the fear I had signing up for this, which was something that I think we all have fears within when we commit to something, and especially if we include other people, which for me was my friends at the gym, and it was my community now that I'm sharing these YouTube videos of, can I actually do this? Can I actually succeed at this? First of all, the question of, will my body respond? Will I be able to be disciplined enough to make this happen? Will I be able to learn posing, something I've never done before? All the different little fears that come up whenever we set a new big goal. And just like I said to myself, I'm going to say to you, if you set yourself a goal, there will be fear surrounding it. And if there's not, you may not be thinking big enough. So if you have this urge to set a goal and do something, go for something, and you feel that fear, I would really get clear on what is the fear that you are afraid of. Maybe there's multiple, and write down what is the worst thing that can happen, but also write down what could happen if I actually go for this and what could happen if I actually succeed at this, just to see all the different perspectives. Because once we put that onto paper, we can see it from a higher perspective and from a bigger overview, and it doesn't stay within our head as this massive fear, but instead, rather, it's been unfolded and we can see the bigger picture. And oftentimes what we realize is that it's actually not that bad. And obviously, I can make this happen. And obviously, I'm just going to do the best that I can. Maybe I'm going to suck, but at least I'm sure I'm going to learn something from it. So allow the fear to be there, welcome it, hug it, and just freaking go for it if you feel that this is the thing that is the right thing for you. And the last thing, I keep saying the last thing, but the last thing I'm going to ask you is, if you're unsure as to whether or not you should go for whatever goal it is that you want to go for, ask yourself, what would your 80-year-old self have wanted you to do? Would they want you to go for it or not? I think that whatever you answer to that question, I think is the truth. Because if you can look at your life from your 80-year-old self's perspective, the version of you that's so much older and wiser and just has seen your entire life full out, then I think that's something we gotta listen to. I think it's something we gotta listen to. And I'm so grateful that you listened to this podcast episode. If you felt it was useful and you think a friend could find it useful as well, it would mean the world to me if you shared it with them. And I think maybe potentially they would be grateful for it as well. And also, the way to support me and this podcast that I do without ads and just fully free is if you would subscribe and be good to yourself today, hug yourself today, believe in yourself. Encourage yourself, be your own best friend, your own best coach. Really just shower yourself with love. And join my June challenge if you feel called, because it's going to be such an incredible time. And if you're listening to this after my June challenge has started, we start new challenges every month. So join whichever challenge, or in the middle of the month, we have a membership option as well. So would love to see you in there and coach you and be a part of this journey with you. I hope you go out there and have a beautiful day. And as always, remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norms. Bye.